All right, welcome back. So, the content that you just listened to, I recorded yesterday, earlier yesterday in the evening or the afternoon. And this is something that I'm recording and including I guess what I would say would be an update. So, after talking about this particular content, this particular topic about aliens and the whole whistleblowers and different things like that, later on in the evening, I came across some news. A news feed from Las Vegas that actually I didn't notice it when I first viewed it on YouTube, but when I was showing Miss Mary today the same news feed from Las Vegas, the original one that I viewed last night, I'd noticed that in the upper right corner, it was not something that was done this month. It was done last month, at the beginning of last month, May. Um, and it was footage from an officer's Las Vegas officer's body cam of when they went to go, and they actually had, let me back up, they got a 911 call from a family, which they show the members of the family after the 911, the audio of them seeing between two and three non-human beings. Okay, the person kind of was trying to do their best to describe to the 911 dispatcher what exactly was the emergency, aka what was really going on. They made it abundantly clear that they were not human and that they were very, very tall. The young man in the audio, he kind of grappled with giving an approximation of how tall they were. He started saying, I believe, 7 or 8, even 9 feet tall, maybe even 10. I believe it was between 2 and 3 that he mentioned, and that the dispatcher was very calm, cool, and collected, which is what they should be. But I'm pretty sure it might have been the most unusual, or not. I don't know. I've never been a dispatcher or known anybody personally that's a dispatcher. Was saying, well, what are they doing? He says, they're looking at me. And basically the way he described their look, their eyes, their bodies, the build of their bodies, it would be the classic or traditional description of grays. Not so much the shorter ones, but more, I don't know. I'm not as knowledgeable about them as Miss Mary is, because Miss Mary has watched quite a few of documentaries and stuff like that about extraterrestrials. I haven't. I've seen some, but I'm not really knowledgeable like her. So usually when I think of grays and the ones that I personally have seen, they're kind of short and they're kind of stout. And of course they're gray because that's why they call them grays. I think there might be other classes to that, but anyway, he kept saying very calmly, he didn't seem, out there or anything, because I know a lot of people are probably still skeptical that this wasn't a joke, that the 911 call wasn't a joke. And so what was interesting about this, they played that first, and this was on a Las Vegas legitimate mainstream news feed. They showed the body cam of the officers arriving to the particular residence and talking to the family, and they were saying that they saw something. Now, the interesting part is that the officers themselves saw something too. It was like a blazing blue ball in the sky descending to earth. They had just seen it, and then that's when they got the call to go to this particular residency. Now, the officers went around in the neighborhood, I believe, and asked, did people see anything in the sky? And they had. So the young man was saying that they were just watching him. They were in the backyard, and they were facing their house, just staring. But by the time the officers came, they were gone. So I wonder, I'm tying this in with what I was saying before about hearing in the news at least once a month, every month actually. At some point, I kept seeing stuff on the news, regular news, everyday news, local news, news from other states about these asteroids or fireballs or whatever names they're giving them coming, descending upon the earth. And they always gave the sentiment, everybody in the news, like they were so happy that this was cool, that this was very normal. But I don't ever remember hearing about this much about asteroids or fireball asteroids or whatever they call them, meteorites, coming down from the sky this much. And I kept saying to myself and thinking to myself, okay, seems to be happening more and more and more. And everybody that reported on it, no